Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll begin the session now. So with the auspicious singing of Jai Radha Madhava, just for a few minutes, and after that we can dwell into the subject matter. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Anatari Yamuna Tira Anatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Anachari Yamuna Tira Anachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Mandarate. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gokunda Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Pancha Bhagavan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanathimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindham. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining this morning session. We didn't have one last month. Every month, first Saturday. We've been doing this Saturday morning program wherein we have been discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam. But however, this month, December, today, we have decided to focus on Gita. Of course, we will discuss something from Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's see some of the verses that we can discuss today. Just 1 second, I have some problem here. Hare Krishna. So the title is Read Gita, Live Gita, Give Gita. And we are very fortunate to have this literature and also fortunate to be connected to this ISKCON Hare Krishna movement, wherein we get the opportunity to read and discuss Gita every day. So we are very much indebted to Srila Prabhupada for everything that he had done for us. So let's read this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Let's see. So this is from introduction of Bhagavad Gita. And it says, Malanirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine Sakrit Gitamruta Snanam Samsara Malanashanam. Can someone read the translation?
Hare Krishna, can I try?
Yes, please.
One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished.
So,
Gita Mahatmya.
Yeah. So this is a verse from Gita Mahatmya. Mahatmya means the glorification of Gita. Wherein it says that just by taking water, just by taking bath in the water every day, one cleanses the dirt that is accumulated on the body. But however, if one takes bath in the in Gita, Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, this Bhagavad Gita is compared to a Ganges water. And what happens to him? The dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. So we just repeatedly undergo birth and death. It's a cycle, both and death, both and death, both and death, and this way it goes on forever. It's a cycle. It never ends. We acquire different bodies through our journey. And we suffer time and again. Punarapi jaranam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Repeated birth, repeated death, and repeatedly lying in a womb of a mother. So this goes on. But if he reads this Gita and practice it, then what happens is that the dirt of material life altogether is vanquished. So firstly, there are three components in our topic today. The first one is read Gita, then live Gita, and then give Gita. So we are focusing on why read Gita. And So this is one point that I've taken from this introduction to Bhagavad Gita, wherein you just have to dwell into Gita and practice it, and then that will destroy the material life. Any other reasons anybody can offer why read Gita?
Because Gita actually shows the way we must lead our lives. So if you have this life, we follow the instruction.
Yes, wonderful. So it tells us how to live in this world and how to leave this world. That's a wonderful point. What are the other things that we can get from Gita? What else Gita gives us?
It tells us who Krishna actually is through Arjuna.
How to let.
How to? Mbara?
How to leave this miserable condition of mistaking that the mind can lord it over, to surrender to Lord, to live the proper way he wants us to live.
Exactly. Yeah. So all these points, they can be summarized in three headings. All these points that we have discussed now. It is called Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. The first one is that when we read this Bhagavad Gita, it gives us Sambandha, means our relationship with the Supreme. So we know about the Supreme Lord, and we also know about our relationship with him. So that's the first point. So our relationship with him, Gita tells that we are not this body, we are the soul, and we are servant of Lord Krishna. So that is the Sambandha, and Krishna is the supreme being, and so that is the information that we get. Relationship, first aspect. And the second aspect is called Prayojan. Prayojan means the process. Once we know what is our relationship with Krishna, then what is the process that we have to do? That is called Prayojan. So Bhagavad Gita tells us that we have to perform that yoga is bhakti, topmost yoga system. On Sunday, Bhuvaneshwari Radha Mataji discussed the topmost yoga system. It tells us one must practice yoga. Yoga means connecting oneself to that Supreme. And the best yoga out of all yoga is the bhakti yoga. So that's what it tells, the process. We know the relationship now, and then the process is given. The process is bhakti yoga. And ultimately, it tells us the prayojan. Prayojan means ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is returning back to Godhead. So these are the three components any Vedic literature would give us. Sambandha, our relationship with the Supreme. Secondly, Prayojan, what is the process that we have to perform after knowing our relationship with him? And third one is Prayojana, what do we going to get? Everybody wants some benefit, isn't it? Without benefit, people are not motivated to do activity. Krishna, the Vedic literature tells us that there is a great prayojana, great wealth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells, this is our greatest wealth, returning back home, Godhead. And so Prabhupada tells time and again that these instructions are non-different from Krishna. Somebody says that, okay, Krishna spoke to Arjun, many years ago, many thousands of 5,000 years ago. But I have no one, but I can't see Krishna. I can't take instructions from Krishna now. Arjun was fortunate enough to get Krishna's association and take direct instructions. So Prabhupada tells time and again that if you directly hear from Krishna or take instructions from Gita, you will get the same benefit. So these Krishna's instruction in the Gita are as potent as Krishna himself. So they are no way inferior to Krishna. And we see the best example, Arjun. How Arjun, in the second chapter, he says that he got completely confused. He lost his composure. And he said, I don't know what to, I'm perplexed about my duty. What is right? What is wrong? I really don't know. I'm confused about my duty. So I'm saying that, Krishna, please instruct me. I surrender unto you. This was his mood, Arjun's mood. He was in completely dilemma. We all know that how Arjun behaved in the first chapter of Gita. And then Krishna instructed Gita, and the same Arjun in the 18th chapter, after hearing Gita, he said, Nashto moha smurtir labdva. I have completely, my illusion is now gone. After hearing Gita, Arjun says, my illusion is now gone. Nashto moha. All the illusion is gone. Smrutir labdva means I've regained my memory. So regained my memory of being your servant, being spirit soul. So when we are in illusion, we serve Maya, and this serving Maya causes the bondage. However, if we regain our true identity by reading scriptures, by hearing scriptures, then we serve Krishna. So it connects us back to Krishna. When we hear and read, we get connected to Krishna. Otherwise, we get carried away by the illusion. So Arjun says, my illusion is completely gone, and I've regained my memory of being your servant. My mind is pretty clear now. And this is the practical application of Gita, that we all go through a number of issues in our daily life. And Arjun tells in elsewhere also in the Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Arjun tells Arjun was again perplexed in one situation. So, and that time also, Arjun tells that he remembered the instructions of Gita and able to regain his memory. Arjun went to Dwaraka and stayed there for some time and returned back to Hastinapur, or New Delhi's capital city. So when he came to his capital city, his home, he was in great agony. He was completely grief-stricken because he was separated from Krishna. When he went to Dwaraka, he came to know that Krishna had left this planet. So when Arjun returned home, he was completely grief-stricken and great agony. So he was fully in a dilemma, what to do. But here Arjun says, again, can anybody read? this translation?
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Please, Mataji.
Okay. Now I am attracted to those instructions imparted to me by the personality of Godhead, Govinda, because they are impregnated with instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So here Arjun says, even in that situation, when he was in great agony, again, here Arjun says that I'm attracted to those instructions imparted to me by personality of Govinda. So those are the instructions given in the Bhagavad Gita. And he says here, these instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. So this burning heart is experienced by every living entity, whether you live in the east or west, any part of the world. Doesn't matter where we are, we experience this burning of heart, this great misery. Yeah. So wherever, like whether, irrespective of the time and space, when these instructions are applied, one gets relief from the misery. So we will read this purport, first paragraph. Maybe can I ask someone else to read this time? Shankar Prabhu, are you able to read? Maybe Meena Mataji again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Herein, Arjuna refers to the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, which was imparted to him by the Lord on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Lord left behind him the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, not for the benefit of Arjuna alone, but also for all time and in all lands. The Bhagavad Gita, being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the essence of all Vedic wisdom. It is nicely presented by the Lord himself for all who have very little time to go through the vast Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Vedanta Sutras. It is put within the study of great historical epic Mahabharata, which was especially prepared for the less intelligent class, namely the women, the laborers, and those who are the worthless descendants of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and higher sections of the Vaisyas. The problem which arose in the art of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra was solved by the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Again, after the departure of the Lord from the vision of earthly people, when Arjuna was face to face with being vanquished in his acquired power and prominence, he wanted again to remember the great teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, just to teach all concerned that the Bhagavad Gita can be consulted in all critical times, not only for solace from all kinds of mental agonies, but also for the way out of great entanglements which may embrace one in some critical hour. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Any thoughts, Prabhu, on that paragraph?
Generally, Prabhu, it is given that it is not only for the Bhagavad Gita, it is not only for during the wartime for Arjuna. It is equally applicable in all sorts of life, in all types of problems and miseries in life. It can be applied in any situation.
Excellent. And Krishna Prabhupada says that don't think that it is only for Arjun. Yes. It is applicable for everyone. And all kinds of people, whoever you may be. Like we have seen Prabhupada kindly came to the West and gave this knowledge, kindly distributed this knowledge to the people in the West, and when they took it, they got benefited. So this is about reading Gita, and now we'll move to the next part, is live Gita. So when we read Gita, we should be able to put those instructions in our life and practice them in our daily life. When we read, there should be a transformation in us, and it should bring us, bring humility in us, maturity in us, a good character in us. But having read, if we do not develop these good qualities, I would say we need to do a lot of work. It should ultimately bring out the transformation in us. There should be a transformation. How should we able to put these instructions that are given in the Gita, put those instructions in practice in our daily life? Can anybody tell? Before that, let me just tell one thing. Once one man came to Prabhupada saying that, Prabhupada, I have memorized the entire Gita, 700 verses of Gita. I can recite them in 45 minutes or so. Something like that. So Prabhupada said, it's very good that you memorized the entire Gita. But can you live Gita for 45 minutes? Can you apply those instructions that are given in the Gita for 45 minutes of your time in your life, for 45 minutes in your life? So reading, we know, we get to know the truth, but the practical application is the most important. Then we get the real benefit. Is there a way that we will be able to put these instructions in practice? What is the best way?
The best way, Prabhu, is to actually implement those on a daily basis, whatever little bit we can, but practice makes the person perfect. So
Yes.
if on a daily basis, if you keep implementing, actually just make it a habit to keep Krishna in the center of everything that we do, literally.
Good. Thank you, Meena Mataji. Any others wants to say anything? Ambada Prabhu.
I got a sign my internet connection is poor, but I'll try.
Yes.
This is the sweetest and the best way to, when we finally realize that the material world is not our place. And we stick to this light and this sweetness.
Yeah.
To have this knowledge and put this in practice.
Good.
Thank you.
Anyone else wants to say anything?
Actually, if you look at Srila Prabhupada's life also, what he did and how he dedicated, and that, I think one shouldn't even think anything beyond that, because he dedicated his full life for Krishna consciousness. If he can just, one speck of what he did, just one speck, I think that's it. But we have to realize, we read it, we listen time and again, but we have to actually realize that and feel that within ourselves. And then the change will happen.
Good, good. Yeah, we have to continue rather than giving up. You said that we have to continue, and the change will happen in due course. However, I want to mention one point here. Meena Mataji, we've been discussing, of course, Ambada was also there, Ambada Prabhu. We have been discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was a conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. In that conversation, it's been highlighted that the knowledge that we have becomes realized knowledge when we serve the pure devotees of the Lord. So that means when we read Gita, we acquire knowledge. And when we serve pure devotees, we'll be able to apply that knowledge in our daily life. Better and better. You remember this, Meena Mataji, by any chance, in our discussion? We had it.
Yeah. But I
So,
don't know which particular verse you're speaking
yeah,
about.
Yeah.
But, what you're saying is correct. When you serve your devotees, you just get purified. It's an automatic process.
Automatically, that's it. So the thing is, that's what we have to see seriously. So I read Bhagavad Gita, here and there many times, and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and my realization is that if we really want to put those instructions into practice, the best way is we have to serve pure devotees. We have to serve devotees and pure devotees. Only when we serve these great souls selflessly, without any motivation, as a matter of duty or in the loving service, if we do that, then it will enable us to put those instructions into practice. So that's important. We have to see how we can serve. Luckily, we all have in our ISKCON that we have Prabhupada for us. One question if we ask, how can I serve Prabhupada? Then that will gives us some understanding, and then able to do some service. Every day we can ask this question, how can I serve Prabhupada? Whatever the way that we all have different talents that, one need not to be a great talented person to do the service, but whatever the service, someone does cleaning, someone does cooking, someone does lecturing, someone goes out and distribute books, someone sings. We have luckily Prabhupada has given us so many wonderful engagements. If you're a cook, you can cook for Krishna. If you just want to do some seva menial service, there's plenty available for all of us. So like that, if you analyze, there are a number of engagements Prabhupada has given us, these wonderful engagements. So this is what Maitreya, Vidura said to Maitreya, that although I know that I am not this body, but I will only be able to realize that knowledge when I serve the pure devotees like yourself, O Maitreya. So Vidura was telling Maitreya like that. So, and let me narrate a little story, and then we will move to the next part. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited South India, and there is a temple called Sri Ranganath in Tamil Nadu. When he visited that temple, he saw a group of Brahmanas were reciting Bhagavad Gita. And in that group, one person was having tears while reading this Bhagavad Gita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached him and asked him, what's happening? What are you doing? Why are you crying? Why are you having tears? So this Brahman said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I have been instructed by my spiritual master to recite the entire Gita every day. However, my pronunciation is not so good. I make so many mistakes while I recite Gita. And others, around me, they make fun of me because of my bad pronunciation and me committing several mistakes in reciting Gita. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, but that's okay. I can see that you have tears when you read Gita. So this Brahman said, my Lord, when I read Gita, I just see the scene where Krishna is acting as a charioteer for Arjun. So when I read Gita, this picture, this scene comes into my mind. So when I think of this, I literally cry. See how this, my great Lord, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cause of all causes, he became the menial servant of Arjun. How great, how merciful my Lord is. So just by thinking like this, I get tears. So Mahaprabhu said, you have understood Gita, you have practiced Gita. This is it. This is the essence of Gita. So it should bring us, the knowledge should make us humble. Should bring a good character in us. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. You have understood Gita. You have understood in the best way possible than anyone else present here, although they were reciting very properly without making any mistake, but you understood the Gita very well. So this is the mood we should get into. And now we'll move to the next part of the title is Give Gita. So with regards to Give Gita, there are a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. So let me take to this wonderful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is verse spoken by Prahalad Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.44, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 44 text. Prayena deva munaya svavimukti kama maunam charanti vijanena parartha nishtaha naitan vihaya krupanan vimumuksha eko nanyam tvadhasya sharanam premato nupashe. Can someone kindly read the translation?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please,
Okay.
please.
Go on. Sorry, I'll mute.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
My dear Lord Nrsimhadev, I see that there are many saintly persons, indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Mauna They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet.
So have you heard this? Have you heard this verse before? Any of you?
No, Prabhuji.
Meena Mataji, have you heard this?
Nara.
Prabhuji.
Okay. So this is a very beautiful verse.
Nataraj.
Yes, Sambhada Prabhu.
Me, I've heard it before.
You've heard it
It's
before.
so nice.
Yeah. So
And I'm
here,
looking forward to read the purport.
that is your homework, because we have to move to other places. We will read other purports. That's the homework for you. This is 7944, SB 7944, where Prahlad Maharaj says that some people, they give up cities and towns. They go to a secluded place to practice meditation and yoga for their own deliverance. However, my Lord, I do not want to liberate just myself. I want to instruct this, and I want to bring all these people around me to your lotus feet. That is my job. They don't know, unfortunately, they are suffering. They don't know that they are suffering. I want to educate them. I want to bring all of them to your lotus feet. They are not happy. So I want to bring them to your lotus feet and make them happy. So that's why I would like to live in the towns itself and educate other people. So this is the mood of Sri Prahlad Maharaj. And we know Prabhupada was a very good example for this. Of course, all our acharyas were wonderful examples. They did not live in a secluded place. They lived in the midst of people, in towns, big towns. The main purpose is to spread this Krishna consciousness, give this to others, educate everyone. Just like imagine if Prabhupada, if Prabhupada had not visited the West, what would have been our situation? Just think about it, just for 30 seconds. What were we doing before we came to Krishna consciousness? How did we behave? What were our habits? And how, what is our position now? So Prabhupada was living in holy place, Vrindavan, leaving that place. So he came to the West and followed this principle of preaching is the essence. And this preaching is essence should be done simultaneously practicing it. If we don't practice and only preach, it's not so effective. So we should do both. Preach, practice and preach. Simultaneously, they should go together. And let's read a little bit from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you will be very, very pleased to know these couple of things that we're going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, be very attentive. So let me see.
I have heard.
Yes, Mataji?
I have heard this before.
Yeah, you've heard this before.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's from Prahlad Maharaj. And that purport, of course, we can go and read. Wonderful purport. And we will read some more from Chaitanya Charitamrita in this connection, that give Gita, why we should give. So, not that one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so I'll ask someone to read from text 121 to 129. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 7th chapter. So text 121 to 129, please.
Hare Krishna. Nataraj.
Yes, please, go on.
Yeah, I'm letting you do the text. Yeah, on now 121.
Yes, please.
In one village there was a Vedic Brahman named Kurma. He invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home with great respect and devotion. Text 22. This Brahmana brought Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home, washed his lotus feet, and with his family members drank that water. 123. With great affection and respect, that Kurma Brahmana made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eat all kinds of food. After that, the remnants were shared by all the members of the family. 124. The Brahmana then began to pray. O my Lord, your lotus feet are meditated upon by Lord Brahma, and these very lotus feet have come into my home. 125. My dear Lord, there is no limit to my great fortune. It cannot be described. Today my family, birth, and riches have all been glorified. 126. The Brahmana begged Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, kindly show me favor and let me go with you. I can no longer tolerate the waves of misery caused by materialistic life. 127. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home and chant the holy names of Krishna always. 128. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. 129. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised the Brahmana Kurma, if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we will again meet here, or rather, you will never lose my company.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So this is a wonderful section, just 121 to 129. And if you later on this class, after this class, you can go and read them again. Here, if you do not want to lose association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what you should do. You will never lose my company. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling this Brahmana who wanted to give up his family life, go away, go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why he wants to go? I can, in text 126, I can no longer tolerate the waves of misery caused by materialistic life. Even though he was a great personality, a wonderful Brahmin, practicing all the Vedic principles, yet he mentioned this. So that is how the material life is. The misery is there, tapatraya, 3 kinds of miseries. They torture us time and again. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instruction said, don't go with me. Don't speak like that. Better remain at home, and chant the holy names of Krishna always. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant, and then he says, instruct the instructions of Krishna to everyone. You chant, you stay at home, you chant Hare Krishna, you practice, and then instruct everyone else. And if you follow my instruction, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, please listen it very carefully. If you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. And again, we will meet, or you will never lose my company. So this is 129. We'll read the purport. So can I ask Shankar Prabhu, are you there? Or Meena Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please read the purport.
This is an opportunity for everyone. if one simply follows the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the guidance of his representative and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, teaching everyone as far as possible the same principle, the contamination of the materialistic way of life will not even touch him. It does not matter whether one lives in a holy place like Vrindavan, Navadvip, or Jagannath Puri, or in the midst of European cities where the materialistic way of life is very prominent. If a devotee follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lives in the company of the Lord. Wherever he lives, he converts the place into Vrindavan and Navadvip. This means that materialism cannot touch him. This is a secret of success for one advancing in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
So the secret is revealed now. The secret is revealed to us now. Sometimes people ask, what is the secret for advancing in Krishna consciousness? But secret is there. We have to read, we have to hear, and we have to put it in practice. This is the secret of success for one advancing in Krishna consciousness. So it's a simple purport, but very, very profound message is given here. A simple message. Chant Hare Krishna mantra, teach everyone as far as possible. If we do this, the contamination of our materialistic way of life will not even touch us. It is like this. The lotus leaf is in touch with the water, but however, if you pick it up, it doesn't get wet. It's not gets moisture. The water simply glides away due to surface tension. There is no wetness on the leaf, but although it was in the water, because it has got a oil coat, say a slight oil coat or a surface tension, we call it. And that's why the water doesn't actually really make it wet. Similarly, although we live in this material world, there is contamination around us. If we put this into these instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, namely chanting Hare Krishna and teaching the message of Krishna to everyone as much as possible. If we do these two things, it acts as a layer on us. Although the contamination is everywhere, that contamination will not touch us. Here, Prabhupada says that, say, Prabhupada went to West, and wherever he went, he converted this place into Vrindavan. Because he takes the Lord with him. Wherever the pure devotee goes, he takes the Lord with him. That place becomes a holy place. But for us, the instruction is very straightforward and simple. Yeah. And we will read the similar kind of instruction in a different story, this time from 136 onwards, please. 136 to 148, I guess. So maybe someone else, please. Meena Mataji or Madhavi Mataji? Yes, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. There 136. There was also a Brahmana named Vasudeva. 136, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
There was also a Brahmana named Vasudeva who was a great person but was suffering from leprosy. Indeed, his body was filled with living worms. 137. Although suffering from leprosy, the Brahmana Vasudeva was enlightened. As soon as one worm fell from his body, he would pick it up and place it back again in the same location. 138. Then one night Vasudeva heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, and in the morning he came to see the Lord at the house of Kurma. 139. When the leper Vasudeva came to Kurma's house to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was informed that the Lord had already left. The leper then fell to the ground unconscious. 140. When Vasudeva, the leper Brahmana, was lamenting due to not being able to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord immediately returned to that spot and embraced him. 141. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him, both the leprosy and his distress went to a distant place. Indeed, Vasudeva's body became very beautiful to his great happiness. 142. The Brahmana Vasudeva was astonished to behold the wonderful mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam touching the Lord's lotus feet. 143. He said, "Who am I? A sinful poor friend of a Brahmana. And who is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences? Nonetheless, he has embraced me with his 2 arms." 144 and 145. The Brahmana Vasudeva continued, "O my merciful Lord, such mercy is not possible for ordinary living entities. Such mercy can be found only in you. Upon seeing me, even a sinful person goes away due to my bad bodily odor. Yet you have touched me. Such is the independent behavior of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." 146. Being meek and humble, the Brahmana Vasudeva worried that he would become proud after being cured by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 147. To protect the Brahmana, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him to chant the Hare Krishna mantra incessantly. By doing so, he would never become unnecessarily proud. 148. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also advised Vasudeva to preach about Krishna and thus liberate living entities. As a result, Krishna would very soon accept him as his devotee.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So here, this Vasudeva Datta, he was suffering from leprosy, and he was, so compassionate that if and when a worm falls from his wounds, he would pick it up and put it back. He was such a great personality. But when after being embraced by the Lord, his leprosy was completely cured. So he was worried that he would become proud after being cured by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised simply chant Hare Krishna, and by doing that, you would never become proud unnecessarily, and also advised to preach about Krishna and thus liberate living entities. As a result, Krishna would very soon accept him as his devotee. So we'll read the purport of text 148. Maybe someone else this time, please. And this will be the last one. We'll end up our session of this. Yes, Ambada Prabhu.
Yeah, me, I like to go. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Although Vasudeva Vipra was a leper and had suffered greatly, still after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cured him, he instructed him to preach Krishna consciousness. Indeed, the only return to the Lord wanted was that Vasudeva preached the instruction of Krishna and liberated all human beings. That is the process of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. Each and every member of this society was rescued from a very abominable condition, but now they are engaged in preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness. They are not only cured of the disease called materialism, but are also living a very happy life. Everyone accepts them as great devotees of Krishna, and their qualities are manifested in their very faces. If one wants to be recognized as a devotee by Krishna, he should take to preaching work, follow the advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then one will undoubtedly attain the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Krishna himself, without delay.
Thank you, Prabhu. If one wants to be recognized as a devotee by Krishna, he should take to preaching work, following the advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So those were a couple of stories and very instructive messages from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's sum up in a couple of minutes, and we will end the session. Maybe if devotees have any comments or any questions, and they can do it. But before I sum up, are there any things anybody wants to say on what we have discussed regarding giving Gita or giving this message to others? Any realizations or any thoughts anybody has?
Prabhu, just one thing, when the desire comes to distribute, we must simply distribute irrespective, not let the negative thoughts, get in the way. Okay, this person will not read. No need to be judgmental. Just do the act, and Krishna will do whatever he has to do. Let's leave it to him. Let's not look at the fruits. That's the only thing I want to say, because I was telling my brother also back in India. I told him, Gita Jayanti man, why don't you distribute Bhagavad Gita to your friends? He's saying, no, they won't read. I said, doesn't matter. You do your duty. You just send. I told him, how many friends you have? So he said 15, 20, whatever. How many people can you give? I said, I can give about 10 of them. I said, okay, then give 10. He's saying, but they will not read. Why you? I said, doesn't matter. You just do your act, right? You just do your act. Just send them. Get the addresses and send them. That's it. He said, okay. So I think that's very important, not to judge anyone. Like even when I was distributing the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they got it. They said, Meena, we are not going to read. I said, doesn't matter. Let it remain in your house. It's auspicious to just have it in your house. Don't worry about it. That's what I told them. I think that's what we need to do. In fact, this morning when I woke up, I was, it's been bothering me. I said, what am I doing to contribute? What am I doing to spread, Srila Prabhupada's message, my Guru Maharaj's message, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message? What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. So that was bothering me. So, just distributing books. No, you have to keep talking to people, talking. I think that personal connection, that helps. I just talk to one or two people, or 2, 3 at the most. But yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you from that message from your heart. Really appreciate a very genuine and sincere message that you have given. Yes. So, and don't worry, but sometimes even thinking is good. What am I doing? Sometimes, just thinking like that would be good. We get purification. Lord will give us opportunity. When we think like that, I'm not doing enough, Lord will give us opportunity. That thinking is also good. But there are different ways of preaching. We can do direct preaching, wherein we try and distribute books, wherein we try and preach to others. And the other ways are the support, support other devotees who are involved in preaching. That is indirect preaching. Sometimes we are not able to do, but we can support others. So that's another thing. That's indirect preaching.
Yeah, I've done that also. There's another, like today, every Saturday morning, there's at 8 o'clock. So I've told them first Saturdays of the month, I cannot attend that. I will watch on YouTube. And there I've put my brother there, put another friend, but sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. I've tried to do, but then, I have to just leave it to Krishna and, and to at least introduce them, and they take the step on. It's up to them. Like they say, you can get the horse to the well, but you cannot make it drink the water.
Exactly. But we can only do our duty. But and then you're right. Maybe in due course, they will open it and read it, and and get advanced. And someone did it for us, isn't it? Just imagine, in my life, I can see many devotees. Because of them, I'm here today, and try and practice this Krishna consciousness. Someone helped us. So it's the same thing that we should also help others. Yes, so wonderful. So summary wise, read Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is non-different from Krishna. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita are non-different from Krishna. It's not only for Arjun, it's for everyone else. When Arjun was in difficulty, he applied Gita, he took the instructions and applied Gita, and then came out of illusion and regained his memory of being servant of Krishna. And it is for everyone, not just for only Arjun, but every living entity. When we read Gita, it gives three messages, under three messages. One is it establishes the relationship, our relationship with Krishna. We know knowledge about ourselves, we know knowledge about Krishna, and we know what is our relationship with Krishna. And secondly, then it also gives us, once we know the relationship, what is the process that we should do? It tells us that is the process of bhakti yoga, practicing devotional service. And it also tells us what are we going to achieve? We'll be freed from this misery and go back to Godhead. Sambandha, relationship, abhideya, the process, and prayojana, the benefit, ultimate goal, tells us. And secondly, live Gita. When we read Gita, it should actually bring a good character in us. This is a litmus test that we have to check. So that is not happening means our process is not right. Our process is not right. We have to introspect. We have to introspect ourselves every day. Every day. We unfortunately, people are so busy, they don't have time for introspection. It's not reading Gita, it's not, but actually it should bring about a good character in us. A transformation should be there. And we have seen this Maitreya Vidura's discussion that when one serves the pure devotee of the Lord, then by the mercy of the devotee, one is able to put those instructions in his life and practice them. So when one serves a pure devotee, the knowledge becomes realized knowledge. That is the way. So see how we can serve a devotee selflessly, pure devotee. And the third part, we have seen give Gita, because one has to be compassionate to other living entities. We have seen how Prahlad Maharaj says that he just wants to live in the towns where a lot of people are living and deliver all of them by distributing Krishna consciousness. And we saw Prabhupada's example, how he came to the West and he did that. Then from Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have seen the instructions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given to Kurma Brahman and also Vasudev Vipra. In both cases, Mahaprabhu said, chant Hare Krishna and give this to others. If you do this, you will never lose my association. And your materialistic life will not touch you if you do this. And if you do this, you are living in Vrindavan. It's as good as that place becomes as good as Vrindavan. Okay, so I will end there. Thank you so much. the devotees for joining and kindly giving your association. Okay, so just a couple of very quick announcements. So today, later today, devotees will be going to City Center to distribute Harinam and books as well. The meeting point is at Piccadilly Gardens. If you can, please kindly support them. So they will be meeting at 12 o'clock in Piccadilly Gardens today. And from this Sunday, we have made some changes to the program, wherein we have implemented some precautionary measures in light of recent COVID, new COVID variant. So wherein we request everyone to wear masks, no mask, no entry. And also the next measure we took was that prasadam will be given in packed takeaway boxes, and so we are request devotees to eat in their cars or at home elsewhere, but not in the temple. So kindly please cooperate with us, and please take good care of yourself in this current situation. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Gaura
Hare
Nataraj
Krishna.
Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. When we hear Mataji, it's always beautiful. The only thing is we have to pay that attention, and here it's always very, very beautiful.
It is, yeah. Thank you.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.